We jump through several events before our story begins. Spider-Man returned to Earth after Secret Wars, thinking his new suit was advanced technology. In The Amazing Spider-Man number 258, the symbiote controlled Peter Parker while he slept, causing a disturbing dream battle with his old suit. This nightmare led Peter to ask Reed Richards at the Baxter Building to analyze the costume. When Reed revealed the suit was a sentient symbiote, his examination of its abilities became tense. Spider-Man couldn't remove it, it stuck tighter. Reed detached the symbiote from Spider-Man with a sonic blaster to protect him, and Johnny Storm recontained it with fire. Event helps set up our story. In Fantastic Four number 296, the symbiote at the Baxter Building is resentful and wants revenge. Ben Grimm thinks everyone improved after the crash except him in the original comic. He stays alone on Monster Island, warning others not to follow. Ben confronts Reed at the Baxter Building on the crash anniversary, changing our story. Ben finds Reed's container with the symbiote, unaware of recent events. Reed then tells Ben about the symbiote's living status. Ben, feeling neglected on the anniversary, accuses Reed of forgetting it as Reed considers more research. Reed assures Ben he didn't forget, but respected his feelings about the incident. Ben, however, blames Reed for his transformation. The narrative then criticizes Reed Richards' arrogance in naming himself Mr. Fantastic after the cosmic ray incident that changed his friends, especially Ben. Despite Reed's admission of miscalculating the cosmic ray's strength, the narrator is frustrated by Reed's lack of empathy, especially for Ben. Reed tries to reassure Ben of his cure search, but Sue calls him away for a press conference. Then the reader may conclude that Reed's priorities may not be helping Ben enough. Reed leaves and tells Ben they'll continue later and invites him to dinner. Ben sort of ignores it. Yes, sure, let me check my schedule. Now alone with the symbiote, Ben opens up and vents about how Reed will never understand the strange looks, gasps, and whispers about you. Ben says this, but the symbiote bumps the glass. Ben believes the symbiote is telling him it can help. Against his better judgment, Ben releases the symbiote, which jumps out of the container and bonds with him. The symbiote may view him as a weak man with a strong body. We're told, great host. An ideal host for the symbiote, not the web-slinger. A host so broken by his desire to be human that he would bargain with his humanity. Strong body, weak man. That makes you think, man, that's how you feel. Reed returns to investigate the loud noise and finds the symbiote thing. Reed starts by asking, what did you do? He tells Ben he's confused. Spider-Man's infected state improved his abilities and emotions. It caught his attention. Ben only tells Reed he understands. It called, offered help, and promised. While Ben says this, the symbiote turns him human again. The symbiote has molecularly reverted his appearance, not just covered him. Naturally, Ben considers this a dream come true. Reed says, Ben, I know how much you want this, but this is unacceptable. It's too dangerous. Reed does the sneaky stretch a reach for the sonic cannon again and tries to shoot the symbiote off Ben like he did Spider-Man. But Ben dodges the sonic blast. Reed promises to find another way, but Ben thinks he found it. He thinks Reed wants to stop him because of his ego, since he didn't figure it out. Not true. Reed is genuinely concerned. To Ben, it's absurd. Attend to your words. Ben quickly grabs the sonic blaster and crushes it in his palm, telling Reed, this is the most that I've felt like myself since the accident, before leaving and saying, do me one last favor and stay out of my way. Man, that's cold. After Ben leaves, Dr. Kurt Connors smells a familiar scent in the sewers. At this point, he realizes the symbiote is free and goes to find it. Back at the Baxter Building, Reed is trying to separate the symbiote from Ben without destabilizing his molecules. Sue tells Reed to separate first and figure out the rest later because they don't know the symbiote's long-term effects on Ben if it bonds with him too long. Reed is conflicted because he doesn't want to take Ben's closest look to humanity since the incident. Sue reminds Ben that they must handle this even if he doesn't like it. Reed realizes it's his fault. He's responsible. If Reed must be the monster to save Ben's humanity, he will. As Ben suits up, we learn he can use the symbiote to quickly destabilize his molecules and become the Thing. Ben's red and black Thing is reminiscent of Null, but it's not the dragon with the tail. He sees the lizard jump out of an alley drainage cover when he enters Symbiote Thing Mode version 2. On arrival, Dr. Connors tells Ben he's here to talk, not fight. As the lizard, clobbering time is imminent. While being dragged through this alley, The lizard tells Ben that the Fantastic Four lied to him and that he feels dehumanized, monstrous, and unloved. Ben slams Dr. Connors into the wall and says he doesn't know what he's talking about. And Connors says the Fantastic Four lied to him when they said he was one of them and only said that because they were afraid. The lizard explains that he and Ben Grimm are alike because the world sees them as monsters, regardless of their good deeds. Ben initially doesn't believe it. But Dr. Connors says he can help Ben share this cure with the world now that he's normal. Because the lizard knew Spider-Man's suit was special on Battle World, but he didn't know how special. He asks Ben to let him help him share his cure because a hero would. Just after this, Ben agreed to let Dr. Connors help. Ben is nervous about starting the process. He's skeptical and asks Dr. Connors if he's tested this thing to make sure it works, because Reed said any good experiment must be tested. Dr. Connors tells Ben that Reed made him a monster and promises that this procedure will work. However, when the lizard presses the button to start the process, Ben Grimm loses the symbiote to a container. Ben is furious and tells Connors he lied immediately. McConnell says, "I didn't lie. I promised to help you share your gift and cure." The lizard flees with the symbiote, telling Ben he's after Reed Richards as Ben's molecules destabilize. Back at the Baxter Building, Reed is working on a solution for Ben when Sue tells him he doesn't have to do this alone and suggests calling Johnny and She-Hulk to return from their mission, which isn't as important. It was also around this time that She-Hulk joined the Fantastic Four, filling in for Ben while he was away. In this what-if story, they stick to Fantastic Four history. While Sue and Reed debate whether he should handle this alone, the Baxter Building's alarm goes off, signaling a breach. Their visitor kicks in the door before Sue and Reed can investigate. Here, we learn that the visitor is Dr. Connors, a symbiote lizard, which is terrifying for Sue and Reed for many reasons. Since the lizard is wearing the symbiote and Ben is gone, they assume he killed Ben. Dr. Connors, who attacked the Baxter Building, is ready to teach Reed about the symbiote's full potential in a brutal manner. Because the lizard breaks the ground, sending them to the floor below, he jumps down and hits Reed's head. Ben is trying to become the Thing again so he can escape and find the lizard. Back at the Baxter Building, Sue gets up and goes after Symbiote Lizard, and I think Sue's going to win, but it kills her before she can fight back. Dr. Connors then tells Reed how he thinks Reed thought he was smart on Battle World and looked at him like a creature. In desperation, Reed stretches his arm around Connors' throat, but Connors tells him he's not smart and bites Reed's hand off, so he bites it and tells Reed he'll enjoy it. Ben enters from across the room and tells Dr. Connors to put Reed down and face him. Connors stretches Reed's neck out and takes a big, nasty bite, killing Reed in front of Ben, telling him he's too late. Ben drops to his knees and begs Reed, "Don't be gone, I need you, please." This must have given him so many thoughts. Ben regrets letting the symbiote out and not listening to Reed when he warned him that it was dangerous. Not to mention that they were on bad terms. While Ben grieves, the symbiote lizard tells him he did what was best. Reed wanted to keep it, and were better without him. Ben launches at Dr. Connors, sending them both out the Baxter Building window, because he doesn't care anymore. They describe Ben as a monster as he punches Dr. Connors all the way down. As they fall, the symbiote travels from Dr. Connors to Ben and bonds with him before impact. After they do, Ben grabs Dr. Connors' head, and Dr. Connors, desperate, asks Ben what Reed Richard would say. Ben says he doesn't know because Reed isn't here. Ben then pops the lizard's head like a grape. After that, police sirens crescendo and helicopter lights blind Ben Grimm, now a monster. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like my video, those tell YouTube that more people should watch my videos, and hit the bell so you will get a notification as soon as my videos post.